Commonwealth Games in Birmingham are set to open later today. It's been a challenging process to deliver the venues during the COVID pandemic, while a debate over the relevance of the Games in the 21st century continues.
The final touches. Para-powerlifters from Nigeria and Kenya prepare for competition in Birmingham. These games will see para-athletes in several sports compete at the same time as all other athletes. There will also be a Games where more medals will be won by women than men, and an esports tournament will run as a demonstrator to appeal to a younger audience. The Games strive to be inclusive. The Commonwealth Games centrepiece, the Alexander Stadium, will bring together over 70 nations, 54 of whom form the Commonwealth of Nations, a political association of mainly former British territories. Those nations represent diverse communities. And Birmingham 2022 has had its challenges over the past years. Board members have stood down amid concerns over a lack of diversity, while debate continues over the relevance of the Games, whose past link Britain to its former colonial era.
This is the British Empire Games. You call it something else, it is not something else. It shouldn't be celebrated at all. We shouldn't be welcoming it in the city. And it shouldn't exist, the very notion of it. I mean, we have the Queen's Jubilee, like the baton going around the city, and it's all going to be that kind of just steeped in these images of empire. If we were honest and saying, look, what kind of future do we want? The Commonwealth shouldn't exist and the Commonwealth Games shouldn't happen.
How can the Games move beyond sport to actually be a central focus to actually help address some of those issues? And so from that perspective, it's about making sure that we don't forget the past, but we work with our members to see where they want to be in the future.
I do think that sport can unite people, and there are still issues that need to be resolved. I think it's actually about holding up our hands and acknowledging that that is the case. And I think previously the door's been closed on those things and we've just sort of kept a stiff upper lip and carried on. And actually I think we need to start acknowledging and working together so that you can't change the past, but you can affect the future.
For the athletes and coaches now in Birmingham, they are here to compete.
Formerly it was Empire Games. Change is constant. So as time goes on, they now have a new innovation to bring all the Commonwealth nations together for this game, just like Asian Games, just like Afro-Asian Games. So this is our own games, Commonwealth Games.
The venues at Birmingham 2022 are Olympic standard. But for these games to set themselves apart from the Olympics, athletes are allowed to protest.
There are issues that they feel that are really important in terms of their values, as long as they are aligned with where we're trying to go, that we encourage them to advocate on those issues.
It's the first time that athletes have been able to protest somewhat at a Games, and so it'll be interesting to see what they protest about. There are boundaries that they are supposed to adhere to.
Should a protest offend, it is yet unclear how that will be policed. The Friendly Games, a term often used for the Commonwealth Games, has had to weather a fair degree of political turmoil leading into Birmingham 2022. Geraint Hughes, Sky Sports.
Boris Johnson may not have long to go as Prime Minister, but he has thrown his full support behind the Commonwealth Games and believes they can be a catalyst for growth in Birmingham.
Uniting and levelling up across the whole country so that this is the greatest place on earth to live, invest and bring up a family. And, by the way, whoever it is, I know they will continue to back British sport and our incredible athletes and para-athletes, and our lionesses who were in such fantastic form the other night. Never forget that since London 2012, this country has been, I think I'm right in this, I didn't check this statistic, but I never mind, it's too good to check. This country has been at or near the top of the global medal table, hasn't it? I think it has. Yes? An amazing feat for a country that represents only 0.7% of the world population. Am I not right? I think we've consistently beaten France. We have. We have consistently, every time we have consistently beaten Germany in the medal table. And more importantly still, we've beaten Australia. And though France and Germany are not members of the Commonwealth, or not yet, why not? Let them in. Let the whole EU in. Logical solution. Maybe here in Birmingham we can beat Australia again. But whatever happens at these games, I know that they will be an amazing success and that we will harness the spirit of Birmingham 2022 to drive jobs and growth here in the West Midlands and across the country for a generation to come.